Harstem! Exclamation mark. Big fan. I've been playing this game since 1998. Yes, I've been playing Starcraft 2 in my head since the original Starcraft came out. I'm 35 now, and I'm here to complain that Hydra plus Lurker is Imba. I had a crap early game with my adepts, but I still killed 18 worked and a third base. Yet, I lost to Hydra Lurker. This game is impossible at this level. Thanks, Juice. This game is impossible at this level. This sentence makes absolutely no sense. You could say this matchup is impossible at this level, but this game is impossible at this level. That means that there's a certain level on the ladder where the game is impossible to play for whatever reason that he doesn't specify. I am not quite sure. So he seems to be complaining about Hydra Lurker, but what else? He also mentions his age. He's 35. Maybe he's complaining that he's old as well. So we're going to go for 3 complaints here that we're going to be investigating. First complaint is that he's old. Well, that seems to be true, but we'll investigate that further. 2 is Hydra plus Lurker is Imba. And 3 is that the game is impossible at that level. Whatever that means, we'll try to investigate and get to a conclusion that will satisfy, hopefully, most of you. So let's hop straight into this game, alright? We have our friend Ice Cold Juice. In the bottom right, we have Heezy. Ice Cold Juice is the person who sent it in. I believe he's a diamond player. Can't remember the MMR and I can't be bothered to tap out. So Hamster will do some magic there. Okay, let's just have a look. He says he opened with adepts and he did a crap ton of damage. Okay? A crap ton of damage with adepts, but it still wasn't enough against the imbalanced Hydra Lurker. Which, it can be tricky to play against Hydra Lurker, especially at lower levels. I see people struggle against Lurker all the time. The reason for this is that they are invisible. And invisible units just tend to be very good at lower levels because people suck at getting detection. Listen to what I said. They suck at getting detection. They suck. Suck. And that's potential for a stamp right there, Hamster. But we won't do it quite yet. So put that stamping machine back into your pocket. Hamster's always very trigger happy with the stamps. You guys don't know that, but whenever I get the... We always talk about like the IODIS, you know, and he edits it. And he always just puts as many stamps as possible. So every single week I have to tell him, Hamster, no stamps now. He's like, but Kevin, like, it's so much fun. And the noise that it makes, I love it. It's like, no, Hamster, not today. So put it back in your pocket, Hamster. We don't need it yet. So we have... a little bit of a scout, pylon block on the natural as well, forced hatchery to be taken at the 3rd. We have... Hello, where are we going? Is this a core before Nexus? Ooh, another probe? What is... Okay, this is an adventure. He's a voyeur. He just likes watching people build things. Like, this guy is a fake. Not actually a worker. That's crazy. Zealot? Core Zealot? No workers? No second gas? Okay, well, this is a build order that is interesting. Well, I'm not quite sure if interesting is the right word. I think bad is a better term here. Like, it just sucks. He's cutting a lot of workers in order to get a zealot out and to get a second gateway and a 3rd pylon. Or wait, this is his 2nd pylon? Okay, the 2nd gateway he doesn't need. He needed this pylon, that's for sure. Gets an adept. Still doesn't build any workers. What is he cutting workers for? So he adds nothing and takes away a lot of economy. That's brilliant. You do love to see it. He also... This is actually very smart. This is a move which not a lot of people know, but if you're really confident and you want to show dominance in a game, you just always show your opponent your tech structures in your wall. Even though you're going to be building 3 buildings or 5 buildings anyway, and you can wall perfectly fine with 2 gateways and a cybercore here, just build the Twilight in the wall as well, so your opponent knows exactly what tech you have. Then when you win, you can tell him, haha, you knew everything I was doing and I still beat you. That is very smart and gives you a mental edge next time you meet him on the ladder. So he goes into... My man Cold User is playing the worst adept build in the world. He's building 2 adepts from 2 gates that he has. Okay, let me explain to you how the mathematics of this situation work, okay? I'm just gonna explain it real fast. When your Cybercore finishes, you have 100 seconds of warp gate. I'll pause for this, okay? You have 100 seconds of warp gate, okay? In those 100 seconds, if you don't chrono boost any of the units, you can build 3 gateway units, okay? 3 gateway units, whichever one doesn't matter, out of a single gateway. So if you build a second gateway before your warp gate research hits 54 on the timer, a gateway takes 46 seconds, that gateway needs to build a unit. And it needs to be built so early that it can build a unit before warp gate finishes. Otherwise, it is wasted effort. You don't need that gateway. This was a lot of math, and I know that majority of the Protoss players struggle with elementary school math, as most of us haven't finished elementary school. I feel you guys, but perhaps Hamster can make some graphics to explain it better. And if he didn't do that, well, it sucks to be you. So basically what I'm trying to say is he's cutting early workers and a second gas for no reason whatsoever. Also, I'd like to make everyone aware that he's cutting infinite workers. He just hasn't built any workers. This is like a fake natural at this point. Like, okay, he's gonna do damage with this, but it's still gonna suck. I think he said he killed 18 workers or something like that. Now listen to this, okay? Listen to this. Imagine you have a situation where you get a free fight, okay? You have a fight and both of you get to pick one weapon. It's a fight till, not the death, but it's a fight who gets the most injuries, okay? Your opponent's weapon is like a knife or something like that. And you pick a saw. And you start sawing off your own arm. Then with that arm, you start beating him up. You wield the arm in the other arm. You start beating him up. And you give him a major bruising. Then at the end of this fight, the jury says, well, like, you lost. Like, you lost your arm. And you're like, no, but I did this to myself. I cut off my own arm, and thus I should be the winner. That is kind of what Ice Cold Juice is doing here. Like, he's merely bruising his opponent while he cut off his own arm in order to even inflict that bruising. Which makes no sense. Like, he needs to kill 16 workers, and then it's an even worker situation, but he will have lost more units and he won't have the mining that his opponent has had in the past 2 minutes. So in order to get ahead in this game, he needs to kill almost maybe 25, 26 workers, and then he might be ahead. I'm not even sure at that point. Let me stress that. I'm not even sure if he would be ahead if he kills 25 workers. And he's just been losing adepts already, not doing anything. Also, a daily reminder that the fastest time you can hit with like 12 adepts or good timing is like 440 with a prism with like 39 workers. So basically, he invented a new build order, cut out everything that is good, things like economy, a prism, a possibility to reinforce, and then replaced it with a faster second and third gateway that he doesn't use. This makes absolutely no sense. This build is truly the CrossFit of bodybuilding. The CrossFit of Starcraft. This build is to Starcraft what CrossFit is to bodybuilding. It looks fun, but it's not actually that useful. I don't think there's a big CrossFit community watching my videos, so we can make fun of them a lot. It's like 3 guys. Most of them can't read, otherwise they wouldn't be doing CrossFit. Nothing better in life making fun of people who do CrossFit. Unless you enjoy it, of course. If it's your hobby, that's fine. So he's actually doing some damage. And I'm sad to say that he might actually be getting ahead. He killed a bunch of links as well, and his opponent hasn't been mining for the past 10 minutes. His opponent also is mining from like, with 30 workers, like 4 gases. It's not quite what you want. It's slightly more minerals, but it's okay. I mean, the end of it, I actually think this game kind of resets itself and equalizes in some weird way. What's the follow-up? Okay, some zealots. That makes sense. He's like, okay, right now, my man Ice Cold Juice was thinking, I already built a lot of adepts. Now, I want a unit that gets countered by the same units that the adept gets countered by. So if you think, what beats the adept? You think Baneling, Roach, right? Separate or together, doesn't matter. And then you think, so what beats the Zealot? Well, Baneling and also the Roach beats the Zealot. So basically, if his opponent would try to counter the unit he's already been building, he would also have the hard counter to the army he's currently building. This is what we call a brilliant transition. It just makes absolutely zero sense. It's a worse transition, you know? I just don't quite understand it. Okay, imagine this. Back in the day, when people first wanted the books, we didn't have the print yet, you know? We couldn't properly print books. So what you have is like monks. They'd write the books themselves. They had like these beautiful letters that they draw as well. It's kind of similar here, where my man Ice Cold Juice has bought a printer. Sure, the printer isn't great, but it does a decent job. In this analogy, the printer is the adept. Then the printer, you know, it kind of ran its lifespan, and my man Ice Cold Juice thinks, okay, I can do a couple of things. I can either buy the same printer again, or I can upgrade it. But instead, what Ice Cold Juice does is he goes to the monastery and gets himself a monk to start writing books for him again. That is the transition from glaive adept into pure zealot. Sure, you do have some company, but I'd still go for a printer. But I mean, that's just me. Of course, that's just me, guys. I mean, who am I? Just your average Starcraft player. Overseer scouts. My man Heezy is like, interesting. There's probes here. There's no third base. It must be weird to scout the entire main base and see a single pylon. My man's been building his entire Sim City in his natural. Look at this. If he ever gets Baneling busted, like, there's only like 35 Banelings to go through the first row, and there's like 3 more rows behind it. Okay, zealots. Let's take a look at the opponent. Opponent has 6 Hydras and 20 Links against 17 Zealots. I'm really curious how Ice Cold Juice is gonna lose this fight. I'm really, really curious. How is he gonna lose this fight? 7 Queens as well. And you still have... Nah, there's no way. 17 Zealots. You can't lose this. 7 more drones on the way. Makes sense. Okay, Queen goes down. More Queens go down. More Queens go down. Okay, half the army starts attacking 3 drones and extractor. Just right clicks the base. Smart. I love it. That was brilliant. He was absolutely destroying the fight. He looks at the fight and says, I don't think I actually want to straight up kill all of his units. What might be better is if I right click this hatchery with 1500 HP, take that thing out while my units are dying, then I can go home and I still am at a worker disadvantage. And my opponent is still outmining me. Good call in my opinion. It's the type of play we've come to expect here at IODIS. Third base for Ice Cold Juice. Fleet Beacon, Blink, +1 air. He's a happy. He get every single Twilight upgrade. Did he do them in order? Is Glaives the first one and then Charge and Blink? Maybe he thinks you need to get everything in order. Now then he would have gotten +1 air weapons before Warp Gate. Yeah, there goes that theory again. So he gets 1 Void Ray, gets a Fleet Beacon, and a carrier, a single carrier, while he's getting Blink. I've seen a lot of interesting things, but this is definitely interesting. I'm also very curious how he's gonna lose to Hydra Lurker when he's getting air tools. Like, that can't be easy. I mean, his opponent is pretty broke as well. Doesn't have a lot of supply. There is one upgrade for his opponent, but there's no infestation pit, no seismic spines. He's now getting a Templar Archives. If he gets the Dark Shrine, a Robo Facility, and a Robo Bay, he has every single tech structure on 4 gas, which is something I haven't seen in a while. It really is something I haven't seen in a while. This thing is burning. Are both players just not going to do anything for the next 5 minutes? That would be something as well. No fort base here. Carrier from Tempest. He's actually just building every single unit. 2 Void Rays, a Carrier, Tempest. After this he'll build two Phoenixes, get Anion Pulse Crystals, then get Flux Veins. Maybe get Dark Templar Blink and have a DT as well. Hallucination Scout. I wonder what he's looking at, if he's lost his hallucination, saw nothing with it. This is okay. This is no, I wanna press the B button here. Look at this. This is the type of production tab you expect when someone is on 5 bases. +1 air, blink, Tempest. The +1 attack doesn't make much sense, but the rest, and you also see an interceptor here. Like, this is the most late game production tab I've seen in my life. But my man is still on 5 gas. I don't quite understand how he's affording all of this. It's probably because he hasn't been macroing at all, but he's not getting a fort base. His opponent is going up to 74 workers. Some slight oversaturation issues here at the third, I have to admit. Storm, 2/2 upgrades, +2 attack, +2 carapace. Infestation pit. I guess he gets hive now or what? No? Okay, that's fine. I mean, we have loads of time. It's not like my man Ice Cold Juice has been doing anything in the past 5 minutes. He's just been sitting around, literally doing nothing. Has he built any buildings yet in the main? What is his obsession with this natural base? Like, he has so much space. Maybe this is like a green zone, you know? You're not allowed to build there. We have some of those in the Netherlands. We have a place called the Green Heart. If you want to build stuff there, they'll tell you no. It's like, well, like the nature protected. Maybe that's the case here. I mean, there's some vegetation here. Not sure if these protected plant species. He's just a very environmental friendly person. Interesting. I didn't know that was also the case in Starcraft, but you live, you learn. There is some vegetation here as well, but I guess that matters a little bit less, maybe. I'm not sure what we're looking at either, guys. Like, the past 3 minutes, actually nothing has happened. He hasn't once confirmed what his opponent is doing. He's getting a second forge? But why? I thought it was going into air tools. Does he actually have Templar with Storm? Okay. This is the weirdest army I've seen in a very long time. His opponent has 4 overseers. I'm just going to speed this up a bit, because I have no clue what's happening here. They're just sitting and doing nothing. He's like, okay, I'll build more buildings over here because he wouldn't want to get any in the main. He starts spreading pylons so he can add more gateways, maybe. Maybe a second Stargate would be smart, or going up to a probe count that's higher than 60. Also be considered a wise decision. I mean, if you're not planning on doing anything, at least scout what your opponent is doing or expand a bit faster. Okay, we move across the map. We're getting close to max after all. You gotta be kidding me, right? He's not actually gonna walk through this choke. What? Is this what I waited for 4 minutes? What is this? What was he looking at during this? I was so curious. Okay, imagine seeing this. He has full vision of it. And he knows there's 2 rocks. Why does he keep going? Why would you do this? They don't even have... Okay, they do have seismic spines. I don't think they had it at the start, though. I might be wrong. Holy crap! I mean, this guy could have had literally 35 disruptors and he still would have lost the Hydra Lurker. I mean, if you're gonna fight like this, the army doesn't matter. I'm starting to get impressed how he even managed to do any damage with the adepts early on, if this is what his army control looks like. Like, he must have realized that this isn't it, you know? I mean, this is unreal, the level of play here. Zergman just rushes in. Pop. I mean, at this point the game is just completely over. They're actually completely over. It's 200 supply against 110. Throws down one storm, 2 storms, actually good storms by the way. I feel like if he actually just would have gone into mass carrier, he probably would have won. Or at least been in a better spot. His opponent has good upgrades though, 2-2, holy crap. Double force hasn't really paid off yet. I mean, it's only 15 minutes in game, so can't blame the guy too much, right? Only having 2 upgrades 15 minutes in a game in which nothing happens. Fort race. I mean, the game is over. We can... How long do you think he stays in? You think at this point he's raging, probably. He's pretty old. Maybe as a kid. His kid was crying and he had to comfort it or something like that. It's also possible. Sometimes I always go for the worst explanation, but maybe he was doing something noble. Or perhaps because he's older, he's a little bit slower of understanding already. I think we're getting pretty close to proving that being old is bad for you. What was the other thing he said? This game is unplayable at this level. Yeah, I don't know if this game is unplayable at this level, but if I was playing at this level, I think I'd make the game unplayable for me by uninstalling. Alright, ice cold juice. The question you posed, the question you asked is Hydra Lurker imbalanced or do I suck? My sincere answer to this is that you suck. No big spiel before it. I'm just gonna tell you, this sucked, okay? You attacked into a choke that was extremely tiny. It was like this. You had full vision of what your opponent's army was, and you decided to move your terrible army, Pure Stalker, Templar, which is terrible already against Lurkers, through this tiny choke. You lost all of it, and then you lost the game. Like, it really was as simple as that. This was no rocket science, my friend. And the fact that you thought that this replay was a good example of imbalance does show me that your brain has been deteriorating a bit. So, gets me to the other point, is that yes, you are old. And the final point is that yes, this game might be unplayable for you at this level. Perhaps it's time to move on to different things in life. Like, you have these puzzles, you know, you can do with the pieces, or crosswords. Can also be very, very challenging. I have some difficult 1-star Sudokus in my little Sudoku book that I have. If you want, you can borrow it. I mean, I can send you some over. Or I can send you some riddles. Easy difficulty. All of these things might be a better fit for you. You suck. Alright, that's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you very much to Ice Cold Juice for sending in this replay and his beautiful description. If you want your replay in the IODIS, be sure to send it to in the form in the description down below. Please do note we get a lot of submissions, and I do not reply to them unless you're the one that makes it in. So yeah, that's basically it. Thanks all for watching. If you like this video and we hit 2,000 likes, I will continue making videos. If we do not hit 2,000 likes, I will also continue making videos. So please hit the like button very hard. Thank you and bye bye.